Four people are sitting around the table.
See, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend.
Suddenly, a bomb goes off.
Those with loaded guns.
Now take the same scene and tell the audience there is a bomb under that table.
No, you dig.
So the whole emotion of the audience is totally different.
You dig.
I picked a movie. You had never seen it, right?
No, this was my first time watching it.
Okay. I picked a movie we had both never seen, and the movie was Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard. This was my first time watching it. Honestly, after finishing the first movie, I don't know where the other movies go, because there's more than one Die Hard.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think I'm going to watch the rest of them.
No, I'm not either. What was your general overview opinion of this movie?
I think this movie ranks at a pretty solid 7.
Oh, okay.
Like, I didn't hate watching it. I thought the plot was decent. I liked the characters. You know, there was development the whole time, you know, happy ending type thing. I thought it was a decent movie to just sit and watch. Is it the next Titanic? Is it the next, I don't know, what's Interstellar? No. But it is just a decent movie to watch.
I do think that this is a classic.
It is a classic.
I can understand it when people... Okay. There's a debated question about this movie. The Christmas movie, yes or no? What do you think after watching Die Hard?
No, I would not say it's a Christmas movie. I would say it's a Christmas... It's not even Christmas themed. The time frame the movie takes place in is Christmas time, and there are Christmassy elements to parts of the story, but this is not a Christmas movie.
I feel like watching the movie, it doesn't feel like a Christmas movie at all. But I feel like technically it just barely makes the cut for, it is a Christmas movie. Because
it's like...
It takes place during Christmas, and they just sprinkle out some Christmas shit throughout the movie to, like, classify it as Christmas. So I guess, like, technically, okay, it's a Christmas movie. But overall, like, there's nothing Christmas related that happens. Like some parts of the
saying this is a Christmas movie is like saying Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie.
Well, isn't it?
I would say Terrifier 3 qualifies more as a Christmas movie than this does.
God.
Which is... this sets a low bar for what qualifies as a Christmas movie.
So my general opinion about the entire movie, just to summarize this before we get into our notes, I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't really know what Die Hard was about, because all I knew about this movie going into it was that he says "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," and there's a scene where he's in a vent holding a lighter. That's all the information I had about Die Hard going in. But I really, really enjoyed this movie. I feel like I could see this movie as being like a comfort movie, like, because I have comfort movies that I can just throw on whenever, and I will never get tired of watching it.
Can you name a few? I just want to know what they are.
Spider-Man 2002, the first Tobey Maguire movie. Spider-Man 3, 2007. Titanic, 127 hours.
Okay. That's a wild one.
What else? I think those are like the immediate ones that come to the top of my head.
How is 127 hours a comfort movie?
Because, okay, yeah, I know he cuts his arm off, but like, it's just I don't know. It's a. When I see him cutting,
It's so comforting.
It's not gory to me, because when you actually watch the movie throughout, like it's his fight. He has a desperate fight, and his will to live just grows more and more and more and more. So when he cuts his arm off, he wants to live, and he doesn't want to die in that hole. And I find it comforting because I'm a little weird. By the way, hi Kira.
Hello.
Valentino says, you can't say that it's a Christmas movie though, but I don't know because I'm not from the 1900s.
I'm gonna assume from 1900 to 1999 is what he's trying to say there.
Interesting take. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I didn't really know what it was about. But
yeah, what's your rating?
I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty high.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's good. Did you have a favorite character?
Yeah, Bruce Willis.
Okay.
I forget his name. I think it's John McClane. That's his.
I never referred in all my notes. I just referred to him as BW.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
There are the main characters in this movie is Bruce Willis, the villain, Bruce Willis's wife, and the cop outside.
Oh, but listen, you can't forget about Ellis. Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know these characters by name. I wrote them down as other names.
I'm trying to think. So, Ellis was the scumbag that tried to do the whole negotiation scene.
I wrote him as Cokehead.
Cokehead? Okay. Yep. That's Ellis.
Ellis. I didn't pick up that was his name. How many notes did you take down?
I don't know. I don't count.
Oh, because my notes are just numbered.
Mine are like that.
I took down 80 notes.
Good Lord.
Most of them aren't very thought-provoking. Most of them are just like observations. Because honestly, I was really enjoying watching this movie. Like, I almost wanted to stop my notes because I just wanted to focus on the movie because I was enjoying so much.
I was actually dealing with the same issue. Like I'd watch like a whole scene and I'd be like, oh, okay, let me pause it so I can write down what I'm thinking of at this time, and then yeah. Okay, you want me to start with like what happened during the movie?
Yeah, where did you start your notes?
I started on the plane. So Bruce Willis is first scene. Bruce Willis is on a plane. I learned that he does not like flying, and that he is a cop, and that apparently back then, cops could just have guns on the plane.
Well, aren't air marshals allowed to have their guns with them?
Yeah, but not normal cops. He's a New York City police officer.
Oh, you're right. No, yeah. So I have to be checked in, like.
Yeah, and it was just. I'm just gonna chalk it up to different times.
Wait.
Another note for that.
Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Sorry.
I enjoyed watching him walk into the airport and then instantly light up a cigarette inside of the terminal. It was just like, okay, different times.
When the title music started playing, like right at the start, they're dropping little seeds of Christmas because they have jingle bells in the title music. Did you notice that?
I noticed little Christmassy things sprinkled throughout. I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then it introduces us to another, not our main character, but another important character, Holly, who is Bruce Willis's wife. And I put married ? To Bruce Willis, because at the beginning of the movie, while I still think they're technically married, they're living separately, and I think they're working towards a divorce. And then she's working at a company in California called the Nakatomi Corporation.
Before Bruce Willis gets to his wife, he gets picked up in a limo by this guy who I do remember his name. His name's Argyle. And he's so fucking chatty, and he does not shut the fuck up. And I didn't think that he would last long. I just thought he was like some day player character, and I didn't think he was.
Argyle was critical to the story, 1, and 2 to my entertainment.
Argyle was pretty funny.
Yeah, just when he's sitting in the when he's sitting in the back of his limo later in the movie, and he's talking to his girlfriend. He's like, "No, I'd never miss you."
But when Argyle drops off Bruce Willis at this company, and this is when I thought Argyle the character was gone. He lets him know. He tells him, like, "I'll wait for you. If things with you and your wife don't go good, I can drop you off at a hotel. But if they go well, like, call me and let me know that I can leave." And that's when I thought, okay, that's the end of this character. That's it. And then Bruce Willis goes up to meet his wife.
Let's see. Yeah, so he gets picked up in the limo. He walks into the building, and I learn 3 things. So he walks into the building, he has to check into the building. He takes an elevator up to the Christmas party where he's going to meet his wife that he hasn't seen in 6 months. And I learned 3 things. 1, Bruce Willis is not a fan of touchscreens. 2, he's not a fan of red wine. And 3, he is not a fan of being kissed by men.
Something that I kind of hate about myself is that, like, I see past the fiction of movies to just this tiny fucking detail that really has nothing to do with the overall story. But when Bruce Willis goes up to the security guard to, like, check in or whatever, this display, this touchscreen, is a CRT. It's a thick glass dome monitor. Those are not touchscreen.
No, that's the future of technology, okay?
And
use your imagination a little.
It just completely distracted me that he was touching this fucking screen that I know is never going to be touchscreen ever. And it was just a little funny detail that completely pulled me out of the imagination of this high.
Listen, this movie is what inspired Steve Jobs to make the iPhone.
Steve was like, "Oh my God, you can touch? That's a great idea."
That's a great idea.
But I did not know. I didn't pick up that he doesn't like the red wine. I just thought he
drank it and then he instantly gave it away. So I just assumed that he does not like it. Let's see. I wrote, Ellis is a crazy man trying to take away Holly.
But also, she's kind of into it too, right? Because
I don't think so. She kind of throws him away throughout, even at the beginning.
I feel like she still goes along with it because she doesn't have many options. Because she puts down the photo of her and her husband and her kids. Why else would she put down that photo? People take off their wedding rings. They put down their photos of their family so that they don't feel guilty. So I think she was gonna fuck around with this dude, even though she knows he's a fucking degenerate scumbag.
I don't think so.
Because it's not explained at that point, but their marriage is a little bumpy. So, and her husband's not there all the time. So she has the ability to fuck around and get away with it. So I think she was gonna go with Ellis.
Okay, I wrote the exact opposite, and it's for this one reason. I said, I noted that Holly offers Bruce Willis to stay at her house. And then what I thought by that was she doesn't want the marriage to break up. She wants to try and make it work out.
Yes, but before he showed up, before Bruce Willis showed up, she was acting a little slutty. And then he shows
I
up,
disagree.
and she
I
snaps
disagree.
back into like, "Oh my god, I missed you, baby. Oh my god."
I disagree. That's not what I remember. Maybe we watched two different movies. Maybe you watched Die Hard 5 and I watched Die Hard 1.
These little nuances I got from her, they did not sit right with me. I don't know. I picked up little red flags.
Okay, the next big thing that happens is they talk for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote the bad team, the bad guys.
The bad guys.
They move in on the building. So they shoot the guy at the front desk, and they park a van downstairs in the parking garage. Then they lock the building down, including the elevators, so that no one can take any elevator down to the bottom floor.
Something that kind of confused me about when this happened was, so Bruce Willis works at this place, right? It's not really explained what kind of company it is. Like I think they talked about it a little bit, but this building is overly secure. Like it has security features like fucking Fort Knox. It's crazy. And later on, they show more security things, and this building can fucking hunker down. It's impressive.
This building is blown up multiple times.
And still standing.
Yeah, and it's still standing.
But yeah. Yeah, we can continue.
Okay, so they start the takeover of the building, and then most of the team, they move upstairs to where everyone's at the Christmas party, because now no one is downstairs. They killed like the only two people downstairs, which was like the main front lobby dude and like another dude guarding the elevators. So they all move upstairs, and everyone's at the Christmas party having fun, except for Bruce Willis, who's in an office waiting for Holly to come back after her speech. And then everyone is taken hostage except Bruce Willis, because he is not in the room. But he hears gunfire, and being a cop, he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna ditch my wife and get out of here." So yeah, he goes and he heads upstairs to one of the unfinished floors.
Yeah, they mentioned that the building is not finished. Like there's still construction going on, and considering that the building is still not done, the security features are definitely done. So I think they prioritize their security over other things.
Yeah.
So this company has their priorities in line.
And like the majority of the building is done. It's like a couple floors that aren't done. I mean,
yeah.
They got a freaking like massive bonsai tree on one of the floors and like a waterfall. So like
And
They just spent all the budget on like one floor.
when the bad guys came in, it honestly just confused me because I still didn't know what this company was. I'm like, what the fuck is this a heist? Like, what the fuck do they want? And I was just a little confused when they got there. I was entertained because I like gunshots, but I was just a little confused.
I think you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to not know.
Do you know the actor who's the main villain?
No.
He's Snape from Harry Potter.
I would have never have realized that.
Oh, I mean, his face is there and his voice is Snapey. But, yeah, that's Snape.
So they take everyone hostage, and then they're looking for I don't know if he's the head of the company, but he's at least the head of that branch of the company. Mm-hmm. Or at least that building. So they're looking for that dude, and they get him. And they say, listen, they take him to a different room. And while they do this, Bruce Willis is kind of watching from the shadows and spying on him. And they talk to the dude, and they're like, you're going to give us the code to your safe so we can take a bunch of U.S. bonds and steal $600,000. And the guy says, I don't know the codes, so I can't, you'll never be able to get into the safe. And he says, and the main villain's like, okay, well, if you don't know the codes, I'm just going to shoot you. And then he does.
I literally gasped because I didn't think that they were just going to kill him. I thought they were going to, like, try to beat the codes out of him a little bit longer. And
no, they just
straight in the face.
Dude, they didn't even need him. They did not. They could have. I don't even know why they wasted time getting them. They could have just started from the beginning, breaking into that safe.
I was just as shocked as Bruce Willis because I seriously did not expect them just to kill him that quickly. Like, they didn't even try to get the codes out of him. They're just like, can you give them to me? No? Okay. Like, holy shit. That was so fast. Also, while this is happening, Argyle is still waiting downstairs in the limo for Bruce Willis. He's still waiting.
The entire time. The entire movie.
Dude, I would have fucking left. I would have gone home. Fuck that.
Well, he couldn't.
I mean,
I guess he did. He didn't know that.
He's okay. I guess he is a limo driver. He's presumably clocked in, earning an hourly thing. So I guess he's just thinking, fuck it, whatever. I'm getting paid. I'll just fuck around in this limo. I can understand that.
I can too. Okay, so after that, Bruce Willis makes a noise after the main guy's shot, and then they notice that Bruce Willis made a noise. So then they go looking for someone, but they can't find him. So Bruce Willis goes upstairs. The bad guys still don't know that Bruce Willis is there. And Bruce Willis, to try and get the attention of the police, he pulls the fire alarm.
Which I thought was very smart.
It was very smart. Since the bad guys are kind of in control of the building, they know that the fire alarm has been called. Mm-hmm. So they have one of their men call it off, and the police don't show up for the fire alarm. And then they look and like, oh, okay, the fire alarm was pulled on this floor, and then they go searching for this dude who's Bruce Willis. So one guy goes up into the room looking for Bruce Willis, and I wrote that he gets outsmarted and choked to death with the sling of his gun.
So far, I've just been putting down that because not knowing anything going into this movie, I was just confused about how everything was going to play out. And I just put he's just an honest to God good cop who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And he just caught in the middle of all this shit. And considering how smart he is
Him
Like, it just
being
surprises me that
okay,
he's just an average cop, but he does a lot of
is
things that are really smart.
he is smart. I think it's also greatly exaggerated by how bad the rest of the law enforcement is in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the rest, the police officers, barring the one dude, and the FBI are both stupid. The whole movie, like they just keep making dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision, and it's like, okay, well, this is ridiculous. I feel like this is not very realistic at this point. The decisions you're making,
And this is when, so the fire alarm was called and that didn't work. So then Bruce Willis goes to the roof to try to use, because
the radio that he took off the guy he killed.
the guy who was checking the floor where the fire alarm was pulled, Bruce Willis killed him and took his shit. So he goes to the roof and he uses the radio he goes onto an emergency line for the radio and tries to talk to the police. And something that I thought was hella funny was that the cops were like, "Oh, this is an emergency radio thing.
This is an emergency line.
Not be doing this." And he says, "No fucking shit, lady. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza?" That was really really funny.
I feel like in real life, if that statement was made by anyone on that line, they would immediately take that as like, I feel like you have to take that as like it would be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Even if they like doubted it, they would do something. Like it'd be like, they wouldn't have like this whole argument for like, oh, get off the line, all this. They'd just be like, oh, okay, we're gonna send units out to your location immediately.
Yeah, but this is a movie. This is a work of fiction.
This is a movie where CRTs are touchscreen and people can smoke in the airport and bring guns on planes. So
I mean, the people who wrote this, they had their story, but they need to insert conflict. They need to insert, parts where the main hero gets into trouble. I mean, because it's very realistic that a real person in this situation would do their absolute best to contact the police. Okay, he's trying to do that. But now we need to like screw with him a little bit. So the cops aren't that helpful. So
no. Okay, so after he makes the radio call, obviously the bad guys are also listening to the radio. So they're like, oh, he must be calling from the roof. Which I don't know how they just immediately assume that, because the radios have been working inside the building the whole time. So I'm like,
yeah, it's wild.
I don't know. But so they, and also I don't know why the bad guys would use a channel that's reserved for law enforcement as their main channel and be. That's another thing that's a little weird, but I'm just gonna ignore that.
Considering how smart these criminals are,
yeah,
they do some dumb shit.
I'm gonna act like that part doesn't exist. So they know he's on the roof, and they go and chase him down, and a gunfight ensues, and Bruce Willis ends up escaping through a ventilation shaft.
And that's where that famous shot comes from, where he has the lighter looking in through the ventilation.
Yes.
Please tell me you know about that.
I know so much. I just watched the movie. Of course I know about it.
Okay. And then we're introduced to our new character, who's the cop, the one police
good
officer
cop
who's actually like listening to him and taking this somewhat seriously. And do you recognize this actor at all? I thought this was just going to be a cameo, honestly.
Yeah, it's the same dude that plays Snape, right?
Oh my god. He is Carl from Family Matters. And in Family Matters,
Literally have never seen that.
Steve Urkel, the TV show.
Never seen that.
No?
No.
Well, he plays Carl, and in that show, he's also a cop. And he looks exactly the same. So I was like, oh shit, it's Carl. I honestly thought it was just going to be a cameo. I didn't think he was going to stick around for the rest of the movie. But if I'm going to call him anything, I'm going to call him Carl.
Okay, I didn't write his name down, so we can just call him Carl.
I mean, I put down cop Carl. But he gets sent over to the building to investigate. And the people, the criminals, the terrorists who have taken over this building, when they first walked in, they shot the security guard. And now they have one of their own people who's taken the suit from the security guard, and they're pretending to be the guard. And all these people, all these criminals are mainly German. And when the cop shows the building and comes up to the security guard, he snaps into a damn near perfect American accent and tends to be just like an average security guard. And they deflect the cop. They played up a very good fake like dude who's just trying to work. And then the cop leaves, and while this is happening, Bruce Willis is up like a few stories up, and he's smashing this window, trying to get the attention of the cop. And he smashes a hole through it, a pretty big hole. He could fit probably his whole fucking head through this hole. And I was just thinking, why don't you just scream to him? Just stick your face through the window and scream.
Dude, as soon as I saw that cop car, if I was Bruce Willis, I would have shot through the window. I would have shot at the cop. I've been like, listen, you were going to have my attention now.
That's another way to get his attention. But Bruce throws a body out the fucking window at the car. Okay, that's one way to get his attention. Don't scream, don't shoot, throw the fucking body.
So he smashes the window. The bad guys know. He's like, oh, okay, he's smashing the window in this room. We're going to go get him. Two people go in. Bruce Willis kills both the bad guys that walk into that room. And then after he killed him, that's like when the cop is done interacting with the lobby dude, and is leaving the building. So he takes one of the dead bodies and throws it, and then it lands on the cop's car. The cop freaks out, obviously. And then one of the bad guys, seeing that like the cover is blown, starts absolutely unloading with machine gun fire at the cop car. And the cop just backs out at full speed, ramming through anything in his way, and escapes and calls for backup.
I do want to step back a little bit. When Carl is first called to go take a look at the building, he's like down the street, like a few blocks away, and he just like looks up at it to see if like it looks funny. And that's when
there's literally gunfire happening on the roof.
Which there's two fucking guns going off on the roof. I think he would have heard it. He would have heard the little pops in the distance. I definitely think he would have heard it. At least like a little.
Maybe.
It wouldn't be loud, but you'd
maybe
fucking hear that. It sounded like fireworks. I think
LA's a really loud city, so I don't know.
Shot. It's quiet. It's a quiet night. You don't hear anything coming from the roof.
Yeah.
I think.
Quiet night. Silent night.
Oh my God.
Holy night. All is bright.
I think this was just a small little detail that I overthought, but I do think, I mean, he's a cop, you know, he's trained, he knows what gunshots sound like. I think he would have heard something. All right, let's get back to the body. Yeah, the criminals start shooting at the cop. He smashes through and something and fucks up his car and then calls for backup.
Yep.
And even the cops who get his radio thing and they hear him asking for backup, they're not even like that concerned at first. They're like what? Like what's up with all these fucking cops?
Yeah. They're not very good. So let's see. All the cops show up and they try to storm the building. Oh, wait. They all show up and Bruce Willis gives them the details of the situation. Like, really good details for how they should probably, like, it's good information that they can use to figure out how they're going to solve the situation. But the chief of police kind of just ignores most of that. And he's like, okay, well, we don't know who this guy is. And he's kind of like pretty arrogant. And he's like, we're gonna send some people in.
Yeah.
So the police storm a building. They get shot. They aren't killed, but they get shot. And then they're like, oh, okay, shots have been fired. We're sending in the armored vehicle, which looks like a miniature tank just without a turret. And they send in the armored vehicle, and then the bad guys, who are very well armed, shoot 2 rockets at it, like RPGs, or it's not literally an RPG, but the equivalent of an RPG at this armored vehicle and blow it up.
Another realistic thought I had was when the group of 4 cops who, when they came up to the door to try to get into it, why didn't they just shoot the glass to get it?
Yeah, I don't know why they tried to lockpick it.
Like, what the fuck? If this is I don't know what type of emergency this would be, but this is a serious emergency. Why would you spend the time to try to just open the door the right way? Just
if you
get fucking through the door, bust through it.
Imagine this, like imagine you're a police officer and you're called to a scene where a cop was just unloaded at with a fully automatic machine gun, like a heavy machine gun. And they say, hey, listen, we want you to try and breach this building. So we need you to stand in front of a glass door for 2 minutes and try and lockpick it.
Yeah, does not.
I'd be like, that sounds like a terrible idea. I feel like they're just going to shoot me through the glass door, which is what happens.
I guess they are taking orders by this fucking stupid cop.
Yeah.
Dude. So
The chief of police is very
he's
stupid.
an idiot. He's fucking dumb.
Okay, so they shoot 2 armored rockets they shoot 2 rockets at this armored car, and they're about to shoot a third. But what does Bruce Willis do? He straps some C4 to a desk chair and weighs it down with a CRT monitor, and he pushes it down a elevator shaft and blows up a whole floor of the building just to take out the 2 rocket launcher dudes.
It's very quick thinking. Very, very quick thinking. Very MacGyver-y. For an average cop, he's very creative. Very, very creative.
Very, I feel, unrealistic. I'm not going to say that I have any clue about how much C4 is needed to blow up the entire floor of a huge building. But I'm going to have to say, okay, what happened?
So he strapped C4 to the chair, sent the chair down. The chair blew up, and that activated the other missiles that the guys had, because they're shooting missiles at this armored vehicle. So it was a chain of events. The chair blew up, the small C4 activated the others, and that's what blew up the rest of the building, the rest of the floor.
That makes more sense.
That's what I
Okay. Now that you're saying that, yes. Yeah, I think you're right, and that makes sense. I was like, there's no way this tiny little brick of C4 is going to blows up a whole floor. But yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right.
Because one little piece of C4 is not going to do that.
I was like, wow, that's a big explosion for that little bit of C4, but okay.
That's Hollywood.
If you want to know what my next note is,
What?
my next note is Ellis is a retard.
Oh, is this when he tries to go and
Yeah.
negotiate some things?
This is
with the-
where he tries to be big businessman and negotiate with Hans, the main villain. And we'll just keep this short. He tries to negotiate between Hans and Bruce Willis, and he gets shot because he's stupid.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
His character. I didn't like. First, like he's trying to fuck your wife, and he's trying to sell you out, and on top of that, he does coke. Like, dude is a major scumbag. So he's a piece of shit character, and I'm really glad he died. I
Yep.
had no sympathy for him.
He dies. After that, Hans finally starts talking to the police, and he does this because he does this to stall, because he needs time before they start starting to breach the building, so that he can crack into the safe to get the money or the bonds that he's after. So he's like, listen, I want you to free all these people, and he just lists like random groups of people at different jails across the world to stall time. And
That really confused me. I didn't, in the moment when it was happening, I didn't realize that he was just trying to stall. I really didn't. I was like, where is all this shit coming from? What? I thought they were just trying to get into the vault. What's all this prisoner talk?
yeah.
And the police chief takes it seriously and actually does try to listen and try to do it. And then I realized it's just bullshit, and he's just trying to buy more time.
Shortly after that, the FBI show up, and I wrote down, hopefully they don't suck. Because I was like, I'm tired of watching this chief of police absolutely mishandle the case. Hopefully the FBI fix it. I was sorely mistaken. They are not any better than this chief of police.
Yeah. When the FBI showed up, I thought that those FBI people were part of the terrorists, the criminals, because the guy who dressed up as a security guard in like the lobby, he looked a lot like one of the FBI agents. So I thought like maybe they snuck out some people out of the building to go dress up like FBI guys to try to take over what was happening outside with the cops. But I was just wrong, because those two actors look very similar, but I was wrong. And then later on in the movie, I also got some more confusion, because there's a moment where Bruce Willis tells the cops like, you're being double crossed or something, and that's when I thought, because then the FBI guys got into helicopters.
Oh, okay.
That's when I thought that that they're confirming that these FBI guys are not FBI, and they're actually just part of the terrorists. And I was still wrong. They're just actually just stupid FBI guys.
Yeah. So the FBI people are there. They start taking over the situation. At the same time, Bruce Willis is creeping around the building. Hans is also creeping around the building looking for Bruce Willis, because Bruce Willis took a part that he needs, the detonators, off of one of the dead dudes he killed early in the movie. So Hans is looking for Bruce Willis. And they meet up randomly in a hallway.
Yes.
And
I like this part.
Hans plays dumb and acts like he was a hostage that escaped, because he knows that, like, oh, this is obviously the dude that I've been looking for that's been messing up my whole heist. Luckily, Bruce Willis is kind of smart and hands him an empty gun to see if he would shoot, to see if Hans would shoot him. Hans obviously tries to shoot him, so he knows. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're Hans. You tried to shoot me.
Right before he tried to shoot Bruce Willis, I wrote, considering how smart he is, he should not have given that guy a gun. I was like, you're stupid as fuck. Like, you've been smart throughout this whole movie, and now you're slipping.
But it was a smart play.
Yeah, it was. He knew all along.
He knew all along.
Yeah.
So, Bruce, obviously, this cues in Bruce Willis to, like, oh, you are Hans. One of Hans' henchmen comes up, and then they get in a shooting match. And Hans and his henchmen shoot the glass so that Bruce Willis has to run. Oh, something we didn't mention. Bruce Willis is barefoot this whole movie.
Yeah.
That is now important because they shoot out the glass so that he has to run through it, and then Bruce Willis ends up cutting his feet pretty bad.
There was one stunt that I really, really liked in this shootout, because the shootout's happening, and there's a moment where one of the terrorists is running, and Bruce Willis shoots at his knees, so his legs get shot the fuck up, and that like makes him fall, and he smashes his face through like a pane glass window. That was awesome. I loved seeing that. And there's no fucking way it was CGI. The CGI at the time wasn't great. So this was a real stunt that this dude did, and it was candy. I loved it.
Literally, the window is probably candy. Okay, what happens next? Next thing the FBI do is they cut power. But this played right into the bad guys' trap, because these bad guys are smart enough to know, kind of like whatever the FBI's terrorist/hostage negotiation playbook is, and they're like, listen, we know that they're going to cut the power, and them cutting the power is actually critical to us getting the last lock of the safe open. So the FBI cut the power, and then in turn, the bad guys by that time had already picked 6 out of the 7 locks, and they just needed the power to be cut. So as soon as the FBI cut the power, they unlocked the safe for the bad guys.
If this is another question I have. If these criminals are this smart that they know to cut the power, why didn't they just go in with that plan first? Okay, they can take over the building. Okay, rile everyone up in a group, make sure nobody goes out, and then they should have cut the power themselves if they knew that was,
because they can't. They have to have the city cut the power.
They
had to have them like shut down a whole part of the power grid.
I see. Okay. No. Isn't there just some breaker for the single building?
They do, maybe in real life, yeah, but in the way the movie explains it, it doesn't work like that.
I feel like there could have just been something in like the garage basement, like some powered thing. Just fucking blow that shit up.
Nope, impossible. Nope.
But yeah, they cut the power, and they just walk straight through the vault. The vault unlocks to them. It's perfect. There's fucking doves flying. Oh my god, angels, whatever. They get what they want.
Christmas music plays as soon as the vault is opened.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, the FBI sent in helicopters because Hans talked to the FBI, and they're like, "Yeah, listen, we'll give you the hostages. We just want to be transported to the airport with helicopters." So the FBI, what they do is they send helicopters, but the helicopters have a bunch of armed FBI agents / police officers on them, and they're going to try and storm the building that way and defuse the situation. And they're like, while they're on the helicopter, they're talking, they're like, yeah, how many hostages do you think are going to die during this? And they're like, about 25%. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll take those odds, 25% for 12 or however many terrorists are left at that point. Which I was like, I don't think that's how it probably work in real life, but I don't know, maybe.
And John, or Bruce Willis, he's talking to the cop outside, and and he's telling the cop, he's basically saying his goodbyes to his wife, like through this cop. He's saying like, I want you to tell my wife all the stuff. And yes, it's very heartfelt, whatever. But he says a lot of shit. He says so many things. How the fuck is this cop gonna remember every single thing that he said?
He has excellent memory.
He should have just said, tell my wife I love her. Like, that's it. But no, he said
Listen,
so
if the
many.
actor can remember all these lines for the movie, he can remember a few things Bruce Willis said, okay? So the hostages are moved to the roof, and but the bad guys aren't, because the bad guys have a feeling, since they know the FBI playbook or whatever, that they're going to try and storm the building with the helicopters. So what they have done prematurely is rig the roof with explosives. And what their plan is as soon as the helicopters land, they're going to blow up the roof, kill all the hostages, take out the helicopters, and then escape. But luckily, Bruce Willis makes it to the roof first. And he gets all the hostages out. The FBI agents think that Bruce Willis is one of the terrorists, so they start shooting at him, and they don't land. And to escape the helicopter shooting at him, he rappels down the building with a fire hose and breaks in through a window by shooting it. And then
that whole sequence was fucking awesome.
It was cool.
Not very realistic, because why don't you just go down the stairs, dude? But super cool with the explosions, and he's dangling, and he fucking shoots the window, he fucking smashes through. He's an action superstar. I love it.
So the roof is blown up, but none of the hostages are hurt. It still does blow up the helicopter. The helicopter crashes, and the FBI agents die, which I was like, oh, thank goodness. Another one bites the dust, right? These dumb people handling the situation are taken out. Let's see.
And
yeah, so he jumps off the building, and he's also fine. So all the hostages are fine. He is fine. And at that point, it's just 3 bad guys left. The getaway driver, Hans, and then one other dude.
I was realizing, throughout this movie, Bruce Willis is shooting a lot of bullets. He's stealing guns from the people that he's killing. He has his own pistol, his own cop gun, and literally right as I wrote this down, I wrote, he's got a lot of ammo. He's got this fucking unlimited supply of ammo. He's got the God mode pistol, and then they show that he only has 2 bullets.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow! Literally, as I was writing down, damn, he's never gonna run out. They show that he only has bullets left.
Okay, let's see. So what does he do? While this is all happening, the getaway driver is getting ready, since they just blew up the roof, and the bad guys are going to try to escape. And the limo driver from earlier in the movie sees this getaway driver and rams his limo into the getaway van, and then punches out the getaway driver.
Which is very ballsy.
Very ballsy. Such a brave man.
Courage out of nowhere.
Yep.
Even though the whole movie he's just been chilling in his limo.
Yeah,
and he knows what's happening, because he turned on his little limo TV. He knows what the fuck is happening. He's like, I'll just chill right here and wait for it to be over. So, very, very funny that he just got a little drop of courage out of nowhere and smashed the fuck out of their getaway van.
Something we forgot to mention earlier, when all the hostages were let to the roof, one hostage was not, and that was Bruce Willis's wife, and that's because Hans figured out that Bruce Willis's wife was the wife of Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
So he kept her, and now Bruce Willis is looking to save his wife and then take out the last 2 bad guys. And he tricks Hans and the one other bad guy by taping a gun to his back.
Christmas themed tape too.
Christmas themed tape, taping a gun to his back and pulling it out last second and shooting the two bad guys. And he shoots Hans and the other dude, and then Hans falls out a window and he saves his wife from also falling out the window. And then I just wrote the movie wraps up.
Movie wraps up.
I
did put down a few extra notes. When the bad guy, the main villain, falls out the window, yes, the Bruce Willis saved the day. The movie is wrapping up, and they walk out the front of the building, and there are papers scattered throughout the sky, falling down, raining on them, like snow. Did you notice that? It looked like snow.
So Christmassy themed.
So Christmassy. And then Bruce Willis is walking towards the cop who is helping him the whole time. And they have a kind of weird interaction. They hugged as if they were like longtime friends, which was a little weird. Like, you guys just fucking met each other. I know you.
And then they start making out.
Like, I know you guys just went through this whole thing together, but like, y'all don't know each other. Why the fuck are you hugging? And the cop does earlier in the movie, the cop was talking to Bruce Willis, and he was telling him that, like, oh, I shot a kid and I can't shoot a gun anymore, and it's too traumatic. Mm-hmm. And right as like the whole movie is over, like, they saved the day. Bruce Willis walking out, and one of the bad guys is still alive, and he's like gonna kill everyone and shoot everyone. And Carl, the cop, he puts down the bad guy and
puts all the bullets straight into the bad guy,
and he shoots the shit out of him. And he's stunned that he just did it. He's like, oh my god, I can shoot again. And so that was funny. Also, our guy, the limo driver, he smashes through the gate of the garage.
Yeah.
Which he could have done this whole fucking time.
And no one even says anything. No one reacts to this in any way. He pulls up, and then he picks up Bruce Willis and his wife, and they leave. While it was happening, I was like, Bruce Willis is pretty seriously injured. He's been shot a couple times. He should probably go in the ambulance.
And his feet are shredded.
Yeah, he should probably go in the ambulance, not in the limo.
Nah, babe, we'll just go home.
Yeah.
And the movie ends, and that's Die Hard.
That is the movie.
I really, really liked this movie. Even though I did have small moments of confusion, I think the movie was very complete and didn't leave me wanting more. There was lots of cool action and comedy, and it was very fun and very entertaining, and I love the fuck out of this movie. It's a very, very good movie.
Dang, 2 in a row. Gotcha.
Yeah. Very good movie. What did I give Barbarian? I think I gave it like a 9? Or
I don't remember.
Or was it a 10? No, I don't think it was a 10.
We need to start like making a list that way we can reference it later.
I can do that. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for me. Very, very good movie.
I have one note after movie wraps up.
Yeah.
And I wrote down not a Christmas movie.
Oh my god. I do think, dude, this is one of those arguments like who shot first, Han or Guido? I do think this is a Christmas movie. It is the least Christmassy movie out of all the Christmas movies, but I do think it's a Christmas movie. That's my argument.
Have you seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
That's a Christmas movie.
You know what's a fucking Christmas movie? Home Alone. Home Alone is a Christmas movie. I like
Dude, that's a home invader movie.
during Christmas.
I would also say that is a Christmas movie. I agree.
Well, yeah.
I don't have any other notes.
No, I really, really like this movie. This is a movie I would watch again. Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't watch it again because like the movie itself is like awesome. I just think it's like it's worth watching again just because it's entertaining. It's like the explosions are cool. Some of the comedy is good. I would prefer to rewatch Barbarian for the actual horror itself. But Die Hard, I would classify it as like a comfort movie that I would rewatch.
Yep, right up there with 127 hours.
God, what are some of your comfort movies? A movie that you can just throw on whenever and just love it every time you watch it. Something maybe you can put on in the background when you're just feeling down or something like that.
I'm trying to think. I usually only watch movies when I'm in the mood to watch movies. There are certain movies that I have watched multiple times because I've enjoyed them. Also, little fun fact, Apple, for me it's Apple TV, but like the Apple TV store is selling the entire collection of Breaking Bad for $15.
I have
Every episode of every season.
I have been wanting the Breaking Bad DVD set for so long. The box set. Oof.
Normally it's like 80 to $100, but for Christmas they put it on sale for $15. I just bought that today because I was like, I can't pass up that deal. Let me look through my movies.
The only reason I wouldn't get that, yes, it's a good price, but
Okay.
I got a
Comfort movie.
physical media. So
Rocky 4 is one of my comfort movies.
oh, Rocky 4. Okay.
Rocky 4 I think is great. I haven't watched these multiple times, but I enjoy the Dune movies quite a bit.
Dune. Okay. I haven't seen either one of them. Are you talking about
Ford
the
versus
modern
Ferrari
remakes or the original Dune?
The modern remakes.
Okay.
Ford versus Ferrari. I've watched a couple times. I've enjoyed it each time. The Godfather. I've watched that 3 times now. I've enjoyed that. Oh, all the King Kong movies or all the Godzilla movies. That's just like a guilty pleasure because those movies aren't even necessarily great, but I love watching those movies. I don't know. I've watched a bunch of movies a bunch of times. Oh, John Wick movies are also pretty good. I like I think I have it on here. The Matrix movies are good. I'm trying to figure out what it's called. The Revenant, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I know you like The Revenant. The Revenant is a very good movie. It's just about revenge the whole time. It's great.
Yeah.
It's vicious.
And there's like some like I would consider that a Western movie. And there's some just like some of those Western movies are just really good.
I watched
the Twilight movies. I kind of like the Twilight movies. I've watched those multiple times.
Like Edward versus Jake. That seriously?
I own them all.
You're surprising though.
I own them all on DVD. On physical media.
You?
Yeah. Kira bought them for me a while ago.
I would have never guessed that you're okay. Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Edward, of course.
Okay, all right. I'm
just not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the wolves in those movies, like really any of them.
I think you're gonna stir up some controversy here, Evan.
Have you seen those movies?
I've seen the first one with Sabrina.
Okay, the first one's just okay.
Yeah.
The second one's worse, but they get better after that.
Yeah. Spider-Man 3 is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie to watch, and I've watched it so many times. Like this is one of my comfort movies, because like sometimes when I'm like driving, if I'm driving from like here to San Francisco, that's like an hour-long drive. Sometimes instead of putting on music, I'll play the movie because I bought it on YouTube. So I hook it up to Apple CarPlay, and I just listen to the movie. And I've seen it so many times that as I'm listening to it, I could just visually see it. So like I'm still driving, and I'm like watching this movie in my imagination while I'm listening to it. Like that's how much I love those fucking Spider-Man movies. It's pretty fun. Listening to a movie that you love so much, a movie that you know and have watched so many times that you can play it out in your imagination, is very fun. Like instead of like, don't listen to a podcast, don't listen to music, listen to a fucking movie. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like to watch the movie.
Yeah. I think I've also listened to 127 hours in my car when I'm driving. It's something. All right. Well, do you have any other closing statements? Any final thoughts you wanted to add before I end the episode?
No. Nope. This
right.
was a decent movie. I'm glad I watched it. I probably will not watch it for another couple years, but I probably will rewatch it at least one more time in my life, but it's not going to be for a bit.
I do remember you saying that you wanted to choose Die Hard because it is a Christmas movie, and the timing would line up perfectly for Christmas of 2024.
Yeah, I picked it.
Not that long from now.
I picked it because people think it's a Christmas movie.
And today's December 17th, so Christmas is right around the corner. So it was a very appropriate pick, and I'm
by the time dang, if we do it a week from now, will that be on the 24th?
What?
Yeah, it'll be on Christmas Eve if we film a week from now.
Oh. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe he'll pick a Christmas movie. Maybe not.
I actually don't even know. Usually I already know what I want to pick next, but right now I don't. I don't know what I'm going to pick. But we'll see next time what my pick is.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. There were, what was it, 3 people who watched? 2 people? 2 people were
2
commenting at least. I do think the viewer count went up to 3 at one point. But, yep, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.